Patricia, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, David, for sharing. Okay, I see others are yet coming in. So, all right, I want to just, I want to get into a message tonight. And this is our Rising Mystics Masterclass, Monday, August the 28th, 2023. And I didn't know if to call this message Happy Birthday or why I never celebrate my birthday or how you got here or what. But we're going to talk about all of the above. And I believe that you're going to get something out of this. Matter of fact, I know that you will get something out of this. I know that you are going to receive a lot. You will probably hear some things that you may not have heard before. And this message is going to be a mixture of science, spirituality, and as I said earlier, breaking things off of our life. And there are some things that I did see this evening when I was in meditation and prayer. I'm going to speak into those things also. And I know we got a lot of powerful prophetic people on the platform tonight. Pastor Prophet Dorothy, Prophet Sharon, and others that are here. And so we're going to just flow with however Spirit is leading us to just move after this. But I want to just get into this message here. And it's, many of you, most of you that know me, practically all of you that know me, know that I don't really celebrate my birthday. Is that correct? Anybody out there know that out of all the years that you've known me? Somebody wave at me out there. Don't just look at me like I'm from outer space. If you've been around here for a while, you know that and stuff, and and there is a reason why. And some of you that have known me for decades that are here, I see, you know that I've never celebrated the birthday. Matter of fact, I would think that practically everybody on here, there may be possibly one or two people on here that might know my actual birth date. And that is the reason. And so I want to just talk about that a little bit tonight. And I want to share some spiritual truths with you. And I want to just open up some things for you and to help you in your spirituality. And as I said in the Telegram group today, is that no, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. Well, Sharon was a Jehovah's Witness. Okay. And they don't. Okay. That's good. And maybe they probably know something. That's why. And so, I shared in the Telegram group today that I think that this message is going to be kind of like a prelude to where we get into some of the maybe darker occultic things and teachings that I'm going to be doing over the next several weeks. And so I want to just deal with some stuff here. So why I never celebrate my birthday. But first of all, I want to just go to how we got here, how you got here, how we got here. And I want to just tell you that your journey here started with a fight before you were born. Every last one of you that are on this platform here tonight, and you that are listening via YouTube or however else, and please like and subscribe to this channel if you're listening. Your journey here started with a fight before you were born. Your journey coming to earth, coming into the physical form that you are, started with a fight before you were born. Okay, when your parents got together, whether it was planned or unplanned, there was a struggle. Okay, whether it was planned or unplanned, there was a struggle, and you had to be here at this time, at the time that you were born on the planet here. Okay, your parents got together. And your father released about 40 million to 1.2 billion sperm cells. Yep, that's a whole lot, ain't it? That's a whole lot. Now, if it was like 1.2 billion, that was because, he didn't have a lot of habits, and, he's probably taking care of his body and good. And because when you're not putting the proper things in your body, the sperm Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So we don't want to be shooting blanks, do we? Okay, I think somebody just missed a cue with that, but anyway, so you know, I just want to just show you something here, and then you might ask, why so many? Why so many? Okay, and just talk about the human anatomy a little bit here, because God made the body for a reason, you know. And so why so many? Why so many sperm cells? The sperm cell is the smallest cell. The egg is the largest cell that's in the body. It's because the way the female body is made, and you know, women don't get, you know, offended me telling you about your body or nothing like that. You know more about your body than I do, but I like to study and stuff, you know, to learn about various things. I mean, the vaginal wall, you know, has acids, you know, it's acidic. And so, and it's there for a reason. It's there to destroy the bad bacteria. But by the same token, it destroys a lot of the sperm cells that's released. Okay. And so you mean that, I was thinking about this today, and I'm thinking about, you know, us guys, we're working hard because it is work when you're creating. I don't know if y'all are here tonight. It's work when you're creating. At least on the man's part, is work. Okay, it's work. You know, while he is creating, and he's releasing millions and millions of these sperm seeds from his body, to only have most of them destroyed. And it would seem like that there is an opposition. And I was thinking, in my mind today, I was saying, that's just not fair. That's not fair. Okay, because he's working so hard, and much of what he is releasing is going to be destroyed. However, there are some, and you've heard me talk about the sperm wars before, there are some that's gonna keep pressing on. And out of the some that keep pressing on, because it is a struggle for life. It is a struggle to come into this dimension here. You know, it's a struggle for that, right? And so the first one that gets to the egg and burrows through, you know this science, they become the winner. And so everything within the man that he is releasing from his body has been programmed. It has been programmed to be the first, to swim, and to get there, to become. Everything, there are 100 million, 200 million, maybe up to 1.2 billion, all want to become. They want to manifest. And in that struggle, only one, unless there's twins or something, you know, only one gets to become, gets to manifest. Do you hear what I'm saying? And so your life before you got here was a struggle. Before you were ever born, there was a struggle. And that was a sign for you that you were coming into a world, you were coming into a dimension, you were coming from somewhere else to go into somewhere else, and it was going to be a struggle getting there. But if you are here today, you made it, and you are a winner. You are a winner. Every last one of you that's here today, you were born a winner, and you were given that ability to go through whatever challenge it is that is set before you. As Sister Patricia said earlier, the Spirit said, this is only a test. This is only a test. And so you were given everything you need within you, because it was packaged in that sperm cell, and it was coded in there and programmed in there for you to win. Now, I just need somebody that's alive out there to just shout out, I am a winner. I am a winner. Shout it out.
I am a winner.
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 Great.
I am a winner.
I am a winner.
I am a winner.
We
I
win
am a
a
winner.
Okay, I am a winner. So you all came forth as a winner. You were all born to win, whether planned or unplanned, whether you were a product of rape, incest, or whatever the situation of your background may be. You were born to win, and you have everything within you to win. It was there within you before you were ever born because of that. Now, your journey from where you came from your father, we'll just use some Sanskrit language. When you journeyed from the lingam, that is the male part of the body, and it is called the Tower of Light. That's what lingam means, the Tower of Light. Your father was releasing light, and that light is data. That light is information, and that information came from the Most High God, all right? And so that light that was released into your mother, into the holies of holies, that was called the yoni, or it's called the, what is it called? It's basically called, it's called that, which represent the holies of holies, the dark place. And when that sperm and when that egg met, something very powerful began to happen, okay? So you came from light, and you're here to become the light. Now, all of this is happening, all of these struggles, all of this turmoil. And if I can get you to just realize this and to just realize how powerful this is, that you made it and that you became against all of those odds of maybe 1.2 billion, others, that you were the one that made it. You hit the jackpot and you came here. Now, if you can hold that frequency and realize that when you're going through challenges in life, that you were born to win, and that you already have everything within you to win, and that only you maybe need to activate that, I believe that you will go through your challenges and tests or trials much more easier, because you won't be, or we won't be focused on what is happening right now, but we will be able to see ahead that we're already more than conquerors and victorious through Christ. And that's just one little way that he has already demonstrated that with the human anatomy, with the body here. Now, and so when that seed of light came forth from your father and met with that egg from your mother, the scripture says this here in Psalms 139. There was going to be a 40-week period of gestation. Now, 40 is a number that represents challenges, and it means transition. Challenges and transition. You remember that the Hebrew Israelites, they were there in the wilderness for 40 years because they were transitioning out from the Egyptian mentality into kingdom consciousness. All right. And they went through a challenge of going in circles for all of those years. You remember Elijah and Yeshua and others fasted for 40 days because that was a challenge to overcome the flesh, the three-dimensional world, and to transition into a higher state of being, right? And so the child is there for about 40 weeks, gestating there because of the transition. The 40 weeks is 9 months, okay? And the number 9, as we have talked about, the 9th letter of the Hebrew alphabet is Tet. That is the serpent eating its tail. That is the Ouroboros, okay? That is death and rebirth. Okay, death and rebirth. And so there's a hidden clue in that when you came in this present moment that you're in, most likely you have been here before, but you had to be born again because there was something necessary for your spiritual evolution. There was something necessary for you to become all that you really are and that you were meant to be. Okay, are you following this here? Now, Psalms 139 says this. It says I'm going to just start at verse 13. And it says, "For you have possessed my inward parts. You have covered me in my mother's womb." Okay, now I'm just going to highlight a few words there. Number one, possess. That you don't belong to yourself. You're not your own. You're the possession of the Most High God. You're God's property. Matter of fact, the New Testament says that he purchased you with his own blood. So that means that you belong not to yourself. That's why you can't do anything that you want to do. You can if you want to, but there's going to be some consequences if they're not in alignment with God's divine plan for your life and the contract that you made before you came here. And so if you decide to go against that which you have already agreed on unconsciously before you came here and stuff, then there are consequences that put us back in line so that we can come back in faith, in good faith, okay? So that that contract can be fulfilled because you came here as that little seed filled with all of this data, programmed to do something great. Do something great. Now, your greatness may not necessarily be being the leader of the free world, being a world leader or whatever, but you're great in your own right. You're great as a parent. You're great as a child. You're great as a minister, apostle, a prophet, evangelist, pastor, teacher, doctor, or whatever your occupation may be. You're great as a homemaker. So you have greatness that has already been programmed within you. And so there are things in life that come to keep us on that path so that we can fulfill our greatness. Now, the greatness that the Most High has deposited within us is not determined by what the world calls greatness. It's not determined by even what you may think of as great. But it has already been predestined. You've already agreed on what you came here to do. And that what you came here to do is necessary for your spiritual evolution so that you can get out of this three-dimensional realm and become all that you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, when I say get out of this three-dimensional realm, I'm not talking about physical death. Okay, I'm talking about transitioning. Transcending that whole scheme of things that has to do with death. All right. For you have possessed my inward parts. You have covered me in my mother's womb. Now that word for covered there, it gives the idea of a defense, a covering, providing as like a fortress, as a covering, being hidden and protected from something that might want to bring destruction. Can you hear what I'm saying here? And so this is why the Most High told Jeremiah, he says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you. Okay. And I called you and I ordained you to be a prophet to the nations and stuff. And so you were known and you were already protected. That which God has placed within you was already, protected. I will praise thee, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, and that my soul doth know right well. My substance was not hidden from thee. Now, I'm not going to really get into the metaphysical aspect of this, but this word for substance here is actually the bones. He's saying that you knew every bone, over 200 bones that I would have in my body. You knew about the bones. You knew the bone marrow. In other words, you knew everything about me before I got here. And so what the Spirit is basically saying to us, we just have to trust. All we have to do is trust, because he already knows. He already knows. It's already laid out for us if we just say yes and follow the cookie crumbs that's left along the way on this path. Okay. I praise thee. I'm fearfully, wonderfully made. Marvelous are your works, that my soul know well. My substance was not hidden from thee. And when I was made in secret and intricately wrought in the lowest part of the earth, your eyes did see my substance. Now, this word substance is a totally different word in Hebrew that is used there. Your eyes did see my substance. It's the word, it's the Hebrew word golem, Golem. And now I want to just kind of like touch on that for a minute, because he's saying something here, and I'm not going to get into the really, really deep mystical aspect of it. But how many of you ever heard of a golem? Golem. Okay, they show it to you sometime in some of the movies and stuff, about golems. And matter of fact, I think it was in Lord of the Rings that Spiegel was a golem. Okay, and so it is shown in some of those mystical fantasy types of movies. Now, I find it interesting that he calls himself a golem. And so, but once you understand what a golem is, it's basically the translation, it says a shapeless mass. In other words, just a shapeless mass. Okay. It doesn't really have the life of the spirit or a spirit soul yet in it. It is a shapeless mass. And so he said that you knew me in my mother's womb, and my substance was not hidden from you. Okay. That I was just a shapeless mass. Now, if you know anything about some of the mysticism that goes along with golems and things of that sort, just to touch on it just a little bit, by using the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet and understanding them in certain combinations, you can actually create a golem. Okay. Matter of fact, they have been created. You can use them to create things, just as the Most High created things on the planet, animals or whatever. Those things have been done. This is why they show them in the movie. And it is a very high mystical art of incantations. And so he calls himself that. He says that at this state in the womb, that I'm a golem. Thine eyes did see my substance, and yet being unformed, that means like basically without a soul spirit yet, if you will. Okay. And and in thy book, all my members was written. We've talked about this before. This is the book of life that's within you. This is your DNA strand. This is the double helix, the scroll that unrolls, which is the book of life. So everything about your life, past, present, and future, is written in your DNA. It can be read. Okay. Matter of fact, this is how we do readings many times unconsciously, that we are reading the Akashic records that's within you, because this is the hall of records. Over 60 trillion cells in the physical body. Each of those cells have the DNA strand that's within it, that if you unroll it, is over 6 feet long, filled with information that can be read. Your past, present, future, past lives in other places or whatever, and where you're going to be, and all of that is there. And so he says, in that book, it is all written. Okay. And which in countenance were fashions. Now, this word countenance here, the original here, it speaks of something else. It's not as the countenance of a face, but the original speaks of light. It speaks of light. So we're going back to light now, right? Okay. So remember that we talk about the lingam, which is called the tower of light. And we're talking about that when a man ejaculates the sperm there, those are lights, seeds of light that is there. And so now he's talking about this light, the power of this light, because someone 1,000 years later was going to come and say that you are the light of the world, okay? Because you are coded to become the light being that you are. But certain things must manifest within your life in order to activate that light. And if we don't activate that light, metaphysically or metaphorically speaking, we remain a golem. We remain a shapeless mass. Okay, a shapeless mass. A golem can be in the form of a human moving about. It's kind of like what they in Haiti, the zombies and stuff. And in the voodoo religion, it's a soulless being that's walking around, but there is nothing there inside. And so the point is this: is that without the activation of the Spirit of God, you become a golem. In other words, you become a shapeless mass. You're not fulfilling your purpose. You're not fulfilling your destiny, and you don't have a direction into where you're going. And so he's saying this here. And so we need something else to come in to activate that which is within us. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Okay. Now I'm going to show you this here. Okay. We see the science of it here. We see the Bible talking about this here, the scripture talking about it here. Now, every person that is conceived At conception, you would be classified basically as a female because you only have the X gene that's expressing, or the X chromosome that is expressing. Okay, so every person is born as that. And after about the fifth week, around the fifth week, something happens within that fetus, within the brain there. Something happens and it sends signals that if it's going to be a male, that the sex is going to be changed and it's going to have a Y there. So it's not going to just be X, but now the Y. Can somebody say Yahweh? Okay, I'm trying to show you something here. Okay, the Yod and the Yeshua, the Y. So we have the X to Y. And so when the Y start to express, it suppresses the estrogen from the X and it brings balance. And so now you have the XY, okay, which makes a male. Amen. Thank God that we still understand this, because we're living in a time where people are confused and they don't understand, about the sexes. And that's how it happens, Now, we do understand that there are some people that the genes and the chromosomes get mixed up and get crossed up in there. And that is true because of stuff that is in the atmosphere, stuff that may have been eaten or taken from the parents, and stuff that affect, the gene expression. And so there is some mix up that is happening there, but nothing like what we see happening today, right? And so we find that this takes place there. I'm getting to my point because remember, he just said that, you saw me and I was just a golem. I was just a formless mass. In other words, there was no direction. There was nothing there to really define me. And so now we're at the space that in the time of your conception, because you're not even born yet. You're not even born yet. We're talking in this light of this message here. But yet here is the struggle. Here are the things that is going on. And so now, if you're going to be a boy, there is the XY, okay, that is there. If you're going to be a girl, there is the XX that's going to be there. Now, there are certain things that you can do, hear this by the Spirit, that if early on in the pregnancy, and maybe even later, God can do miracles, but I've seen this from my own experience and stuff. Early on in the pregnancy, and I talked to men many times, and used to a whole lot, younger men, and that wanted sons. And there are things that you can do that can cause that X chromosome, or X gene, to be suppressed somewhat, and that a Y chromosome can come online. Can you hear what I'm saying? I'm not for sure if you guys are here and stuff, are not really getting what I'm saying. There are certain things that you can eat, okay? If you are pregnant, if you are a woman, if you're pregnant, and that can help to, help to manifest a male child. Okay. For example, if it is a high energy diet, a high calorie diet, a lot of vitamin C, a lot of vitamin B, and all of this stuff, something will trigger within your body that's going to trigger that Y chromosome within the baby, and the baby will become a boy, and you'll have a son. Maybe somebody needed that. Okay. And that's in the future that want a son. Maybe you want a daughter. Okay. And so if you got all sons and stuff, maybe somebody that is listening. You want to eat a diet early on that is not filled with a lot of calories and a lot of not high energy food. Okay. And so most likely that X chromosome is going to develop into another X, and you're going to have a female child. Okay. I tell the brothers this. Now, there is a certain way. I'm just only telling people what I believe and what I have shared with other people that say that they got results. Because I've known some brothers that, had daughters and they wanted sons. And I said that, well, if you hit it a certain way, hallelujah, that something can happen. There is the right side and there is the left side. Now, some people don't know their right from their left, okay? And I make it clear. And I say, you as a man, if you are moving in the direction of her right side, you can activate something within the body in that right fallopian tube. And that most likely it's going to be a male child. Okay, so y'all not ready for this yet. I don't know. You guys are not. I don't know if you guys are really here yet. I'm trying to help. Maybe I know some of you are beyond that age. Okay, but maybe somebody that is listening that might need some of that information that I have shared over the years. And brothers come back saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Got a test and it's a boy, or whatever, you know. Okay. Now, around let's see, 18 to 21 days, you understand that the heart comes on, and this is going to all make more sense a little bit later here. 6 to 7 weeks. If it's a boy, the testes are descending, and things of that is like that is happening in the body. Let me tell you a funny story. This might just help you out a little bit, because I feel you guys getting kind of tight out there, you know, a little bit. So I had to, and I don't think he'd mind me sharing this. I took my kids to the clinic for the first time in about 5 years or so, and a couple of weeks ago. And so the doctor, female doctor, right? And so we're there in the room. And so the doctor was checking, you know, Zarias to make sure that everything was okay and stuff. And so this was his first time to be checked since he's almost 6 feet tall now, right? And so, and the doctor was saying, okay, and she explained that what she was going to do and everything. And Jeremy and I, we just turned our heads the other way. And so she said, okay, pull it down a little more. Pull it down a little bit more. Pull it down some more. And she was down there like, you know, almost like on her knees, like just squatting down. And she said it about 5 times, and I'm going, what? And she said that, come on, pull it down. I want to see it all. And so I almost burst out laughing at that time. And I held it till we got out there. And I teased my son about it and gave him a high five. And I said that, dude, I didn't know you were blessed like that. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So you guys that's a guy's joke. It's a guy's joke. Okay. He didn't get it either at first. All right. So here we are. 7 weeks. Everybody say 7 weeks. 7 weeks, something happens within that golem. 7 weeks. Remember, he said that you saw me. I was just this formless mass there. 7 weeks, something started to happen. Actually, 21 days, what is called the pineal body part of the brain starts to develop. But at 7 weeks, something happened with the pineal gland. That's 49 days. 49 days. The pineal gland secretes DMT, dimethyltryptamine. It is my belief that that is when the soul, spirit, comes within that golem and activates it, and it becomes a spirit being. Now, DMT, by scientists, they even call it the spirit molecule. Your brain produces it. Your pineal gland produces it, dimethyltryptamine. You find that a lot of people, they are, ODing on meth. Okay, they're taking meth. Why? They're trying to tap into spirit. We know that it's a drug that people should not use, but you have that within your body. Everything that is out there is right here within you. It's called the spirit molecule because it transcends, it helps you to transcend this reality and tap into other realities. So at about 7 weeks, that child that is there all at once, that golem, something is quickened within it, and it is no longer a golem. It is no longer a golem, but the spirit, soul, body is manifesting there at this time. Now we could talk about that and talk about the connection that happens there with that fetus, with that child at that point, and the connection with spirit that continues on, and how the pineal gland continues to secrete that, and especially at birth. And again, another major secretion at the time of when a person dies and all of that. But the point I wanted to make there was at that point, that's when the spirit basically comes in that physical form. And there's that connection with heaven itself, with God itself. Okay. Now, you're not yet born, okay? And yet we're dealing with the things that we struggle with here. Everything you need has already been programmed within you. Do you believe that? Everything you need is programmed within you. Now, at the time that you were